play a tune real quick and then we're gonna get started. Just want to share some words with you on this beautiful. It's kind of groggy outside, but it's still a beautiful Saturday. Anyways, let's get into this jam.
It's so funny being back on this planet, man. It's been such a long time. I'm coming back from Atlanta. It's just like, hey, oh, wait, hey, yeah, hey, oh, wait, yeah. I'm coming back from Atlanta. You see, I was born on earth, but I'm not from here. Ay, I am from the stars, and I'm talking boulevard. Oh, no. I said I was born on earth, but I'm not from here. I am from the stars, I'm not talking boulevard. Oh no. You say I am from the sky, I am from the yeah side. We was born with our creator, and then we fell. Oh my God, oh my God. Oh yes we fell. Oh yes we fell. Oh my God. Listen up, ay. And all is mine, all is mine, all is mine. You see, we can make our heaven, you know why. We made our hell. Just look around, and can't you tell? Okay, be careful what you think, and be careful how you move, and be careful what you say. You know why? These words are spells. Yeah, they cast the spells. But listen well. You see, we are not the body, we are not the flesh. This life and the death, and this thing right here is just a test. To reconnect. The holy breath.
My fault.
The holy breath. Okay.
I said, I was born on earth, but I'm not from here. I said now.
I am from the stars, and I'm talking boulevard. Oh no. I keep telling you, I'm not from here. You see, I was born on earth, but I'm not from here. Yeah. I am from the stars, and I'm talking boulevard. Oh no. I am from the sky, the sun of most high. Yeah. The sun of most high. Oh my God. Praise the Lord. I am with the body, we are not the flesh. This life at the death, this life right here is just a test. Oh yes, you blessed.
Actually, let me play. Do I got that on here real quick? A little unreleased joint, man.
For real, C-Rock? Good morning. Can I share some thoughts with you? Cool. Yeah. I woke up feeling grateful. My heart is filled with love, never hateful. And true indeed, everything ain't right in my life. But yet and still, I gotta be thankful. You see, I lost my father, still got my mama. I lost my wife, but ain't got no drama in common. Plus, I found myself. I was broke until I found some wealth. Improved my health too, talking my body and mind. I stretch around the lake, that's 8:45. I shower, read some scripture, 1:45. Thanking God for the sun while I stare at the moon. Some days it's like the devil steady flexing. But every tragic moment come with lessons. Let go of all the anger and the stressing. Grandma said that's how you block your blessings. Message. Thank God. Thank God.
Alright, a little preview of some unreleased vibes. But let me get focused. Peace. The topic for today: Moorish supremacy or uplifting humanity. Uplifting fallen humanity, to be specific. If I can just get my little class in. Hmm, let's see. Let's see my little. There you go. Oh. Well, that'll make it kind of difficult for people to find the link, huh? My fault, it was unlisted. That's all good though. Okay, there we go. There we go. My fault, y'all. One second here. Yeah, okay. All right. Supremacy, uplifting fallen humanity. Ah, that's what I'm missing. All right. Hmm. I'm just collecting my thoughts here for a moment. All right. So this class really came from a thought of me thinking about what's the difference between Moors and quote unquote black people. Like what is the distinction? If you had to make a distinction on well, what makes someone a Moor versus someone who's black? Um, because in reality, we're one and the same people. Um, the term black, as some of you know, the term African American, the term Negro, the term colored or people of color, the term Black American, the term Afro American, um, all of those terms were placed on us, but they're not the actual. That's not the true identity of us as a people. Um, so on one level, I was thinking to myself, well, the difference between Moors and Black people is knowledge or information. Um, but that's not, I was thinking to myself, that's not really enough to distinguish us, to distinguish someone who's black versus someone who's, a Moor, because really, in essence, all so-called black people are Moors. But how do you show that? How do you prove that? How is that seen? How is the difference seen? That's what kind of got me thinking about this idea of Moorish supremacy. Um, and then I got to thinking, well, it's by your actions. You know, we show and prove that we are Moors, um, not just by wearing a fez, not just by taking on a Moorish name, not just by saying that we're Moors, but really in our day-to-day actions, the principles that we live by, um, the principles and yeah, the principles that we guide our lives by, that is, at least in my opinion, what I feel like should distinguish us as Moors versus um, just so-called African Americans or so-called Black people or so-called people of color. Because I was thinking to myself, well, what distinguishes us as so-called Black people, other than our skin? What principles do we live by as so-called Black people that you could point to and say, yeah, all Black people, quote unquote Black people, go by that? I was really thinking about the distinction between the two. And then that got me to thinking more about Moors, or so called Black people who understand who we are and who want to showcase that, and show and prove that. And it led me to thinking about in some of the ways in which we have been unsuccessful. You know, what are the issues? Because we have the information, we have the knowledge, we have the the evidence, so it's not a question of do we need to find more evidence to support what we're saying, or we don't have any truth on our side. It's not that, but it's something that we're doing incorrectly, that we have yet to distinguish ourselves and correct the history books, and identify ourselves as Moors and distinguish ourselves as Moors. And I was thinking about, what could be the problems behind that. And in my opinion, I think it comes I think it comes from a place where Moors have this idea of Moorish supremacy, of thinking that us understanding our identity makes us better than, you know, and I feel that ego and that pride that we that sometimes some Moors express, in a way of talking down about our people, talking down, but referencing Black people as them, and distinguishing ourselves like us Moors, we are such and such and such and such, or us Moors, we're noble and we are we have the sciences, and the so-called Black people, y'all are still enslaved. But us Moors, we know who we are, so now we're free, and we have our name, so now we're free. And that whole mentality of dividing ourselves amongst ourselves and speaking down towards our people that identify as Black, you know what I mean, or identify as African American, or identify as Negro. I've seen that, often, and early on, I also became a victim to that, and feeling like, yeah, now I'm broken free from those chain, that mental slavery of thinking I'm Black or I'm African American, so I'm not on that level. You know what I mean? I've elevated. Um, but I feel like, well, I know, in my heart, I feel, I know that is incorrect. It's not helpful. Um, it's not uplifting our people. And that's kind of not kind of, that is the message that I wanted to bring today. Just to remind Moors, um, of our true purpose, of our mission. What I mean, what we're really here for, and it's not to prove. Um, that we can travel without a license. It's not to talk down about people that don't understand who we are, or our brothers and sisters that may still identify as African American or Negro, because they don't know about our true nationality and our birthrights and our creed. Our mission is to uplift fallen humanity. And I just wanted to put that out there, because I was listening to this sister today who made a video on IG Live, and she was just, really going through some things, and was, broken. Essentially her heart was broken, and she was just fed up by how, men, some brothers has been treating her, and just the state of society. And I work with the public, so I see society, and I see what's going on with humanity. You know what I mean? A very small glimpse of it, but I get to see a real level of it. Not IG, not the social media stuff, but real people, day to day people, and many people are struggling. You know what I mean? That's what I am seeing more and more of with everything that's going on. I'm not, we could get into that, but it's not even about the different issues that's going on around the globe, here within the United States of America, with the health and the economy and the climate and war and politics, all of that. You put all of that together and just understand that many people are going through, some really difficult times. And what I feel strongly is that if we are doing an injustice, we are doing a disservice to ourselves, to our ancestors, to our forefathers and foremothers. We are disrespecting um, Noble Drew Ali, our prophet. We are bringing dishonor to us as a people when we're not focused on our mission and we're not doing what we're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Right now, the reputation and the perception of Moors is not good. You know what I mean? It's a whole lot of nonsense that's attached. When you speak about Moors now, a lot of times people have a skewed understanding and perception of us. It's this whole the whole sovereign citizen thing, or trying to beat traffic tickets, or just a bunch of nonsense that isn't about what we're supposed to be about. You know what I mean? Or you'll get people that have the perception and understanding that Moors are just about telling people what they're doing wrong, and trying to tell people to not call themselves black. But we really aren't uplifting humanity, and we really have to refocus our efforts. You know what I mean? Because that's what this whole movement is about. And I just wanted to highlight that real quick, um, instead of just talking on my own self. Let me see where I wanted to. Savior of humanity. Um, is that the one I want to read? Here we go. The Moorish Leader's Historical Message to America. This is an excerpt from Noble Drew Ali. It's a very long, detailed message, but I just wanted to read this brief piece at the top here. It says, "We organized as the Moorish Temple of Science in the year of 1925 and were legally incorporated as a civic organization under the laws of the state of Illinois, November 29th, 1926. The name Moorish Temple of Science changed to the Moorish Science Temple of America, May 1928, in accordance with the legal requirements of the Secretary of the State of Illinois. The object of our organization is to help in the great program of uplifting fallen humanity and teach those things necessary to make our members better citizens. But the object of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the object, the focus, the main initiative of the organization is the great program of uplifting fallen humanity." And let me just re-emphasize humanity, not just Moors, not just Moorish Americans. This movement, this organization is not just about helping so-called black people. So for any more that's out there and is pushing that narrative, Um, understand you're incorrect. For other people that may not be Moors and watching this, understand that this movement is not just about Moors only and discriminating against people from other nations. We're here to uplift fallen humanity, which includes all of humanity. I mean, there's some Moors out there that are speaking in a somewhat bigoted and discriminatory tone towards European people. And I'm hearing, more say, oh, the hybrid Europeans or the European colonists, and they need to, we really have to eliminate that mentality or that mind frame of Moors versus Europeans or black versus white, um, because it just simply is incorrect. It's not what we're supposed to be about. It's not what's truly going on in this world. It's much deeper than color. It's much deeper than Moors versus Europeans or black, quote unquote, black people versus quote unquote white people. It's bigger than that, um, and we have to really work to change our mentality and grow from that space. You know what I mean? Um, and then I also wanted to just real quickly kind of speak on the religion or the religious aspect of this movement, and specifically for Moors that talk down about religion, talk down about religion as a whole, or religions as a whole, specific religions, be it Christianity or any other religion. Um, or and also to Moors that speak ill of the temple. You know what I mean? And you may come across people that reference Moors that are connected or involved with the Moorish Science Temple of America. You may hear some Moors call them Temple Moors, and speak with a real disdain or kind of disrespectful tone or perspective towards temple Moor, quote unquote temple Moors, or Moors that are a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And I just wanted to again re-emphasize that Noble Drew Ali, which is a true and divine prophet, he created the Moorish Science Temple of America. Okay, so if there's any Moors out there that are disrespectful towards the Moorish Science Temple of America, they're being disrespectful towards something that a true and divine prophet established for our people. So understand that more is out of pocket. I mean, we have to be honest and be real about that. And we need to start putting some respect. We need to start having more respect for the Moorish Science Temple of America, and also holding each other accountable, not allowing people to talk ill and disrespectfully about the Moorish Science Temple of America. Not because we're blindly following Noble Drew Ali, not because we worship Noble Drew Ali, um, not because the Moorish Science Temple of America is a new form of church, because it's not. You know what I mean? I want to be clear about that. But we need to make sure that we respect and protect our organization because it was established by a true and divine prophet. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep re-emphasizing that, um, because it's important. You know what I mean? It's not something that just needs to be brushed over. And it really, people, specifically Moors, really need to understand what that means and really need to kind of sit with that and respect the things that Prophet Noble Drew Ali said. And with that comes religion. You know, I've seen far too many Moors speak extremely disrespectful towards different religions, towards people that are in a certain religion or faith or creed. Um, and not only are we just not supposed to speak radically like that, but it's counterproductive, and it literally goes against our teachings, because the book that Noble Drew Ali brought, is literally it literally says in the beginning, it's for all of those who let me not even misquote it. Um, the genealogy of Jesus with 18 years of the events, life works, and teachings in India, Europe, and Africa. These events occurred before he was 30 years of age. These secret lessons are for all of those who love Jesus and desire to know about his life works and teachings. I read that and I highlight that because I see more specifically talking down to brothers and sisters, particularly some of our elders who still identify as black, who still may call themselves Christian, and really love Jesus. And I see Moors talking disrespectfully about our people that are in that space, and that's incorrect. This book literally says it's for all of those who love Jesus. Um, so that should be. And let me close out with that, with the positive. That should be a point where we can unite, a point of unity, not a point to try to prove someone wrong, but a point where we can extend the olive branch, a point where we can um, uh, seek some understanding between uh, different groups or different communities. Um, it says, and this is not it should be clear to us, but let me just re-emphasize this. Chapter 47, line 16. This is the Quran, Circle 7 I'm reading from. It says, through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery due to the fact that they honor not the creed and principles of their forefather. Every nation suffered slavery because they did not honor the creed and principles of their forefather. Further on, it says in chapter 48, in these modern days there came a forerunner that was divinely prepared by the great God Allah, and his name is Marcus Garvey, who did teach and warn the nations of the earth to prepare to meet the coming prophet, who was to bring the true and divine creed of Islam, and his name is Noble Drew Ali. Now, creed is, and it goes on, who was prepared and sent to this earth by Allah to teach the old time religion, and the everlasting gospel to the sons of men. Religion, creed, a creed is our faith, and our religion is a way of life. You know, we have had, some of us have had a lot of bad experiences with religion, some of us in the church, and that has damaged our understanding of what religion is. But please understand, religion is our way of life. It's a set of guidance and rules and structure for how we're supposed to live our life and navigate through this thing. Um, when we don't have religion, when we don't have our creed and principles, then we're lost. Then we don't know who we are. We don't know what we stand for. We don't know what we're supposed to be doing, what our purpose is. Noble Drew Ali brought that back to us, brought this information, our creed and our principles back to us. So for Moors that speak ill about religion, speak ill about um, different religions in general, but religion, be it Muslims, be it Christians, please understand that that's misguided. You're going against the teachings of Noble Drew Ali when you do that. Um, we need these principles. We need this creed, so that we won't sin and we won't be disobedient and we won't suffer through slavery. It also says, I'm going to read one more and I'm going to get up out of here. Drew Ali in time. Excuse me. Allah has sent us a prophet and sent him in time with a holy message which is divine. He came to let the Asiatics of America know they are of the ancient family of Moors. And his spiel was to the Asiatics first. Why? Because they have been sinners since their departure from their forefathers' religion. Oh, sinners, why don't you hear the soul of Islam ringing in your ears? The prophet has said that if I were you, I would get ready before you are made to do so. Now come and pick up your forefathers and mothers' ancient and divine creed, which carries your name, which carries your national name indeed. It will entitle you to your rights which have been denied, because in 1774 your light was cut off from the ancient Moors, and that is why Allah has sent to us a prophet in 1886 to prepare the light that was out. In 1925, the prophet said, I have mended the broken wires and have connected them with the higher powers. Powerful. Um, just want to highlight this again. Now come and pick up your forefathers and mothers' ancient and divine creed, our faith. This is what's going to help guide us. And I just to put a cap on it, you know, two of the strongest revolutionaries for so-called black people, in my opinion, um, are two of the ones that have had some of the strongest and the farthest reaching impacts is Muhammad Ali and who we know as Malcolm X or El Hajj Malik El Shabazz. Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X both impacted this world in an amazing way, changed this world forever, inspired millions of people all around this world. And understand both of them got reconnected with Islam. Think about that. H. Rap Brown also, excuse me, Jamil Abdullah Al Amin, also known as H. Rap Brown, currently incarcerated um, uh, as a political prisoner, really and truly. I don't want to get too deep into that, but another person connected with Islam. Well, I don't even want to keep getting into it. My point is, Noble Drew Ali came and brought back the true and divine creed of Islam. And this is what's supposed to help guide us, the principles that help distinguish us as Moors, the guidance and the structure and the wisdom to help us uplift fallen humanity, to help us love instead of hate. Because that hate, that's where, we got that hate that we got to get rid of. Because that's where that supremacy, you know what I mean? That thinking that you're better than somebody, thinking that somebody is lower than you. Oh man, we got to get that up out our system. We gotta follow the right path that a true and divine prophet prepared for us. And you know, I understand. It's a lot of Moors out there that want to push um, other things, um, and that's not to dismiss the other issues that we have going on, but understand that we have to get in line with our creed, with our faith. You know what I mean? And also let me just say this last thing is that this isn't saying that it's not saying that in order to be a Moor, you have to practice Islam, or in order to be a Moor, this has to be the faith that you follow. I don't want that to be misunderstood. But what I am saying is that our true and divine prophet, the person that came and brought us back this knowledge of who we are, also came and brought us back the creed, our faith, our religion, the way we're supposed to live, the principles and the structure and the laws for how we're supposed to live. And I think I think it's foolish. I think it is a mistake. I think it's unwise for us to try to only pick up, oh yeah, I'm a Moor. Yeah, thank you for this information about the history, and I'm gonna claim I'm a Moor, but not understand and pick up the true and divine creed, our way of life, how we lived before we were enslaved. I think it's an error on our part, in particular Moors, in particular Moorish Americans. I think it's an error on our part if we don't also pick up and live and stand on these principles. Not just speak it, not just talk about love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, but really show it. You know what I mean? Through your actions, not just your words. Um, yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to say today. Um, and just again to put that message out there for Moors, to move in our higher self. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people suffering right now. We have to be mindful of the words we use. We have to be mindful of the energy we put out in the world. Stop, do your best not to put out that hateful and negative energy. Don't call people stupid and dumb and uh, you know, the B word, or Nigger, just because they don't know about Moors, or because whatever the case. You know what I mean? Let's do our best not to speak ill of anyone else or ourselves. You know what I mean? If it's anybody out there that speaks down about themselves, stop doing that. All right? Uplift yourself, uplift other people, move with love, move with kindness. Um, really be noble. You know what I mean? Let's really move with honor and distinguish ourselves as a truly honorable and divine people. Cause we are. We just gotta. We have to be. You know what I mean? What we know. Um, and also be more compassionate towards our brothers and sisters, especially if they consider themselves black or African American or Negro or a colored person or person of color. Don't talk down to them because that's what they feel that that's who they are, that's how they identify. That's not going to help them. That's not going to uplift them. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. Islam. Yeah, my appreciate y'all tapping in. I know I didn't even look in the chat really at all. Um, but just to be honest with you, man, that sister, I listened to that sister speak, and she was speaking about, you know, brothers, if you're not gonna love us, if you're not gonna treat us right, stay away from us. You know what I mean? And she was just expressing how some men were mistreating her. You know what I mean? And that's not anything new to me. Um, I've heard it from many sisters, many different women, um, about just being mistreated, not being treated the way they should be treated. And bigger than just Moorish people. You know what I mean? The so-called black people. I'm talking, I have different friends from different nations and different countries, and I'm listening to some of the things they're going through. I'm like, man, people, people have to treat people better. You know what I mean? I understand I'm more aware in affairs. Yeah, but beyond that, as a human being, we gotta treat other human beings better. You know what I mean? That's it. I know people be talking, why you got Martin Luther King and you ain't got no but Drew Ali up there? How you gonna relax, man? How about you go listen to what Martin Luther King was speaking about? Love that. What's that speech again? Just so I can say it again. Um, is it love thy enemies? Love your enemies. Is it love your enemies? Yes. Martin Luther King Jr., Love Your Enemies, November 17th, 1957. Go check that, listen to that speech, and listen to how he explains how to love your enemy, how to love somebody that has hate for you, and why to do that. It's because it's God in them too. Understand that. Understand the person that's putting out the most hate towards us. The people that's doing all this evil in the world, there's still a tiny is a piece of God in each one of us. And we got to figure out a way to love that little piece of God and make that light and that love grow big inside of every human being, every person, all of humanity. That's the whole idea of uplifting fallen humanity. Love instead of hate. It's so much division going on, whether it's black, white, red, blue, liberal, conservative, uh, shot versus no shot. It's so much division going on, and it's uh it's creating hatred among people, and that's that evil that we don't need. You know what I mean? That's the lower self. That's what harms. We got to uplift ourselves. We got to be in our higher self to do that. We can't uplift somebody while we're spreading toxic and we're putting toxic out into the world and we're putting poison in the thing that's supposed to heal them. It's not gonna work like that. Hi. I'm now at this point I'm just rambling, but I hope some of the things that I'm saying is connecting with some people. Um, because we need it, man. You know what I mean? People is hurting. Um, People are hurting inside. You know what I mean? So-called rich people. You know what I mean? The people that we think are rich or wealthy or whatever. The people that are famous, the people that have celebrity and fame, all of that. They hurting too. They dealing with tragedy and loss and depression and pain. Um, and we have to do our best to make sure that we are walking in our purpose. You know what I mean? As Moors, you know what I mean? Especially because our mission here, it ain't Moorish supremacy. It ain't only to uplift Moors. It's not uplift fallen Moorish Americans. It's not uplift all the so-called black people. That's not what this is about. It's about uplifting fallen humanity. And I just humbly, I hope we can do our best to remember that, have that present in our minds every day, do something to help somebody. Um, yeah, man. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's all I got for today. Um, Peace and love. I think I appreciate that message, man. I think the prophet would have worked with Dr. King. I agree. I agree. I agree, man. And yeah, the last little piece I'm gonna share, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Oh, two things, two things. Here we go. He is the greater man who conquers self than he who kills 1,000 men in war. He is the noble man who is himself what he believes other men should be. Return to him who does you wrong your purest love, and he will cease from doing wrong. For love will purify the heart of him who is beloved as truly as it purifies the heart of him who loves. And on that note, this is not even to promote it like that, but I ain't getting paid for it. But it's a show called Shaman King on Netflix. Shaman King, Shaman King. Go watch that. It's some amazing jewels, but in particular about how love can purify the heart. Um, will purify the heart of him who is beloved as truly as it purifies the heart of him who loves. Oh man, there's some real science to that. And then I just wanted to add this last little piece when Jesus was a like a young little boy and he was speaking to his mom. um, Here we go. It says, and this is after Jesus was talking to the rabbi about the Ten Commandments. And the rabbi was asking Jesus, like, what do you think is the best commandment out of all of them? And Jesus said, if one is full of love, he doesn't need commands of any kind. And that love, um, that the cord of love, it goes through all the different commandments. If one is full of love, you can do nothing else but worship Allah, for Allah is love. But this part is the part I wanted to read. Now, in the evening, Jesus and his mother sat alone, and Jesus said, the rabbi seems to think that Allah is partial in his treatments of the Son of Men, that Jews are favored and blessed above all other men. I do not see how Allah can have favorites and be just. Are not the Samaritans and the Greeks and the Romans just as much the children of the Holy One as are the Jews? Mm, mm. It says, last little piece. I think the Jews have built a wall about themselves, and they see nothing on the other side of it. They do not know that flowers are blooming over there, and that sowing time belongs to anyone but the Jews. It surely would be well if we could break these barriers down so that the Jews might see that Allah has other children that are just as greatly blessed. Uplifting fallen humanity. It's not just Moors. We don't have some special treatment. We're not better than other people from other nations. That's not our purpose here on earth and in this life, is not to show how we're better and we're above other people. We're here to uplift fallen humanity, to love instead of hate, to worship Allah, the whole one. You know what I mean? Thank you. As long as the next video with about the grand body and its functions. Um, for that last question, I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, stay tuned for that. It will be coming at some point soon. Thank you for the question. Um, yeah, that's all I got. Much love. Keep shining. Peace.